Hello, everyone. I am Shawana Stokes of My Nursing Journey 101, and I love to inspire nursing students across the globe to never give up on their nursing dreams and goals. It's also my vision to embrace and nurture a community of nursing students through faith-building activities as well as goal mapping. So today we're going to discuss the topic of dosage and calculations, okay? So I know there are so many people that are just terrified by the name alone, but today, hopefully by the end of this video, it will build your confidence a little bit in approaching any type of dosage and calculation problem, okay? So don't be afraid of pharmacology, okay? You can do this, okay? So let's get started here. Okay, so I first want to actually talk about the Fearless Nursing Student Notebook before we just dive all in, okay? So by popular demand, okay, there were many people that reached out to me and they saw some of the raves and the reviews on the pre-order sales that I did on last month. So they wanted to order a copy. So I decided that sometime this month, probably sometime this week, I'm not sure yet because that's not my main focus right now. I'm trying to build some other things on my website right now, but I will be placing another bulk order, okay, this month. And as far as right now, I'm just taking suggestions on so I can just see which characters are the most popular, okay? So on the last order, Nurse Kim ranked highest, okay? And then also Nurse Jordan, which is the third character from the top, she ranked the second highest, okay? And so far, these are the characters that are ranking the highest as far as the votes that I've taken. So on my Facebook and my Instagram platform, I posted a photo and I asked that if you were interested in purchasing a notebook, which characters would you be most interested in? And this is how it kind of went. So as you can see from the top here, I don't know if my arrow, okay. So from the top here, Nurse Kim was the most popular one. And then you had Nurse Kenya, okay, she was the second most popular. Then Nurse Jordan, Nurse April, and oh Lord, I can't remember her name. Oh Lord, let me stop naming right there because I cannot remember the last three names. Because like I said, I remember these because they were so popular. But then you have the one with the afro, and then you have the long black hair, and then you have the ponytail, kind of messy ponytail with the brown hair. So these were the most popular characters, okay, that were chosen. So I'm not collecting orders right now, but I am taking suggestions because I'm actually going to have them shipped to my home and I'm going to distribute them that way because it takes so long for me to receive my shipment, especially with everything that's going on right now. And so I want to make sure that I look at them first of all before they're shipped out, you know, just make sure there's not any discrepancies or anything like that. And also I want to make sure I have the books in my hand. So once you're actually ready to place an order, I can just ship it out. Okay. So I'm not going to be doing pre-orders. And like I said, I'm not collecting money right now, just asking for suggestions. Okay. So when I do place the order, I know exactly kind of what to, you know, order. So also, if you have not voted on Facebook or Instagram, if you have not given me your suggestion, make sure that you do so, okay? So there, like I said, there is a photo on my Facebook as well as my Instagram page, and I'm asking like I said, which one are you most interested in? So just make sure you vote. You can DM me, you can inbox me if you don't want to put your suggestion in the comments. And like I said, this is not an order, okay? This is just a suggestion, okay? Also, if you have not signed up for my newsletter, please do so, okay? So I am in the process, as I've said before, launching a new website. I'm actually trying to work on adding products right now. And I will be releasing that date of when the website will be open to my email newsletter subscribers. So if you have not signed up, make sure you do so. Once you sign up, you also will receive a 10% off discount code once the website actually launches. So like I said, you will not get the discount code once the website is up, okay? So it has to be beforehand, and I have not given it a date of when that's going to be, so make sure you sign up so you won't miss out on that. Also, I will be sending out a mass email once I'm taking orders for the Fearless Nursing Student Notebook. That will be available on my website as well. Like I said, I will have an accurate count of how many I have available and how many I can ship out. So once it's out, okay? So I may restock up later, but like I said, for right now, I'm kind of doing it with this process right now because it takes a while for me to get those books back. And I just don't want you guys waiting on them, okay, so for so long. So like I said, sign up for the newsletter. There are going to be some great nursing goodies and nursing student goodies that are coming out. So you don't want to miss out on the juicy details, okay? All right. Now back to the dosage and calculations. So today we're going to be covering the importance of dosage and calculations. Okay, why should you even take that class? We're going to do a brief discussion over the 5 rights of medication administration, as well as we will be solving 5 basic dosage and calculation questions, okay? Like I said, only 5, and then they are basic, but I think they will help you to kind of get your brain to flowing in the right direction, okay? All right. Okay, so why is it so important to take a dosage and calculations class? Did I not take college algebra and all this? Yes, you did. But it's very important to take this class in those pharmacology classes because of these 3 reasons, okay? These are not the only reasons, but it's very important to take this class for one, most importantly, to avoid medication errors, okay? So I know we're human and all that, but when you're dealing with a patient, you have to be very mindful of what you're doing when you're administering medications, okay? So that's the top reason why, okay? Also, you want to be a safe student, right? Okay, so you don't want to be in the clinical area. You don't even want to be at your first job and you're not considered safe to your patient, okay? So dosage and calculations helps you to actually understand the proper dosage to give to a patient, okay? So you can be safe to them. And the last one, to avoid deadly situations. If you give the wrong medicine to a patient, you are putting that patient at risk. You could kill them. And I know that's kind of blunt, but you as the nurse, even if there was like an error on the pharmacist's part, even on the doctor's part, you as the nurse are the person that's giving that medication. So you are held liable, okay, for the life of that patient, okay? So if you give the wrong medication, if you give the wrong dosage, that is on that nurse that gives it. And people have been charged and placed in jail for, because it's considered murder, okay? So make sure, what do they call it? It's not negligence. Is it, because, you know what? I can't remember. I know like when we studied like in nursing research or something like that, I remember it's a word for it, and I can't believe I can't think of the word right now. But anyway, like I said, it's considered murder, okay? So like I said, if you end up killing patient, and I know that's a little extreme, but if something happens to that patient where they lose their life, that is on that nurse. Now, the nurse is not the only one held liable, but I mean, if it's medication related, it's first targeted at that nurse, okay? All right. Okay, and I'm gonna have to look that word up too, because it's bothering me. Hold on, you guys. Let me look this word up. And I mean, it's on the tip of my tongue and I cannot think of it. Let's see. Hold on, matter of fact, let me just pause this real quick so you won't have to wait so long. Hold on. Okay, you guys, I think I was right. So from my understanding, it is called negligence, okay? I think that's what I said. But anyway, yeah, it is called negligence. So you can face criminal charges for, like I said, committing medication errors that result in death. So you have to be very careful. That is why that class is so important. Okay, so let's go over briefly the 5 rights of drug administration. I call this, and some other people call this as well, so it's not something I made up, because give me 5, okay, because we're going over the 5 rights. Now, I know there are many more. There's like even up to 10, like including right documentation, right to refuse and all that, but we're not going to cover that. We're just going to cover like the 5 basic ones. So with the first one being, you need to make sure that you have the right patient. You don't want to give improper, the wrong treatment to the wrong patient, okay? So make sure first that you are even looking at the right patient, okay? The right drug, okay? It's very important to give the right drug to the right patient. You want to make sure that you have calculated, that you have, even if you're using like an injection, you want to make sure you're drawing up the right dose, okay? That's very important. Also, you're giving it at the right route, okay? So you don't want to give a suppository PO, which is by mouth, right? I'm just saying. So like I said, you got to make sure that you're even giving it in the right route. Also, you want to make sure that you're giving it at the right time, okay? If you're over time or you're giving it too early, that's not the right time. So they can result in a medication error. Also, you want to make sure that you're giving it at the right frequency. Like if you're supposed to be giving it at 3 times a day, you know, you need to give it at 3 times a day instead of giving it at twice a day, okay? So all these 5 things help you to prevent medication errors. All right, so let's get down to some questions, you guys. So question number 1. An order is received for morphine sulfate, grain 1/2 IM, which is in the muscle, stat, and that means immediately. The nurse has available morphine sulfate in a 20 milliliter vial, label 15 milligrams per milliliter. How much will the nurse administer in milliliters? Okay. No worries, the question is still up here so you can kind of view it as I talk about it. So the first thing that you want to do is convert grains to milligrams, okay? So these are the 3 most popular like grain conversions that I've seen. There are many more, there's like 1/8 grain and all that too, but these are the 3 most popular that I've seen on the test, okay? So you say, well, when you see that you have grains 1/2, okay? So grain 1 is simply the same thing as 60 milligrams. Grain 1/2 is the same thing as 30 milligrams, and grain 1/4 is the same as 15 milligrams, okay? So in our problem, it says grain 1/2. So that means that converts to 30 milligrams, okay? So now you want to make sure that like your order, the measurement for your order is lining up with what's available, okay? So your order reads, now it's 30 milligrams instead of saying grain 1/2, it's 30 milligrams, okay? So some things that you just have to memorize, and this thing, like with the grains, is one of them, okay? So you're gonna take your order, which is for 30 milligrams now because you converted the grains to milligrams. So your order is now for 30 milligrams, but you have 15 milligrams per ml available, okay, which is milliliters available. So the next thing that you're going to do, you're going to set your problem up. This is how I do it. I know a lot of people use dimension analysis. This is the way I do it, and it seems to always work. Like I said, I'm not tooting my own horn here, but I did make hundreds on my dosage and calculations test. I didn't really struggle through that part because to me, like I said, once you have your formula, you have it, okay? Like I said, I'm not saying it's simple for everybody else, and I'm not saying something's wrong with you if you're not getting it on the first try, the second try, or the third try, because sometimes, I mean, math is kind of hard. It's kind of tricky a lot of times. And there were times, okay, I posed my brain too a little bit, so it's not like I'm an expert and I'm perfect at this, but these are the things that help me. Like I said, it worked for me, okay? So the next thing that you want to do, you want to set up your problem. And this is how I always set up my problem with these type of questions. I take my order and I take that, divide that by what's available times the vehicle. When I say vehicle, I mean what's after that word per, P-E-R, okay? As you can see right here, okay? Per. I can't really circle it good, but per, okay? So in this case, the vehicles is going to be in milliliters, okay? So if there was a 2 right there, there's going to be a 2 in my problem down here, okay? So this is how I set it up. So I set the order, okay? My order is for 30 milligrams. Remember, we converted now, okay? So we're not gonna be using grains, we're using milligrams. Okay, so I'll take my order, which is 30 milligrams, divide that by whatever is available, which is 15 milligrams per milliliters, okay? So don't get confused with the fluff, okay? When it says 20 milliliter vial, can't say it, a 20 milliliter vial, don't let that confuse you. Yes, that's important, but the main stuff that we need to know is this right here, 15 milligrams per milliliter, okay? So you're gonna take your order, like I said, you got 30 milligrams over your what's available, which is 15 milligrams per milliliter, and we're gonna times that by whatever the vehicle is after that per sign, okay? All right, so, and actually I should have had maybe that little, what is it, like a little slant, but I can't think of what that's called right now, but just like the same with the, you know, the symbol between the one half. But okay, so once we do this problem, once you divide 30 by 15, because you know when you're doing division and multiplication, you're going to start from left and go to right. So you divide 30 milligrams by 15 milligrams first, okay? And then you're going to times that by, you know, your vehicle, which is 1 milliliter. There's like an imaginary 1 in front of milliliter. If you don't see anything like a 2 or a 4 or something like that in front of it, then you're going to automatically assume that that's just per 1 milliliter, okay? So once you do that, your answer is 2 milliliters. Now, how cool is that, okay? So I hope this makes sense. Like I said, it may make more sense as we go along with the other questions. We have 4 more questions to do. But like I said, it's all about formulas. Some things you have to memorize. And like I said, with grains being one of them. So just keep in mind when you're working with grains, that grain 1 equals to 60 milligrams, grain 1/2 equals to 30 milligrams, grain 1/4 equals to 15 milligrams, okay? And like I said, with this question, since it says grain and a half, that means that you're going to be working with 30 milligrams, okay? So once you set your problem up kind of how I did on step 2, okay, like I said, you really can't go wrong, okay? So let's go ahead and move forward. Okay, question number 2. So the physician has ordered 400 micrograms. Micrograms, M-I-C-R-O, okay? That's what MCG stands for, micrograms, okay? And you have available 0.08 milligrams per, that's the per sign that I was talking about again, 0.5 milliliters. How much would the nurse administer in milliliters? All right. Okay, so the first thing that I like to do is to remove my decimal, okay? As we can see, the decimal sign is in the available spot, okay? You have 0.08, okay? Now, if my decimal was in the microgram spot, I will convert my micrograms to milligrams. But in this case, I do like personally to work with milligrams versus over everything. Seems like so much simpler to me than grams and micrograms. But in this case, I have a decimal. I'm trying to get rid of this decimal, okay? So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the decimal and I'm going to convert my milligrams to my micrograms, okay? So here's just a quick and easy way to kind of remember how to convert when, you know, your decimal, if you should go left, should you go right, and how do you, you know, convert milligrams to grams, grams to milligrams, okay? So think of it like this, as in the medical field. So you have a doctor, you have a nurse, and you have a CNA, right? So we know the person overall, you know, two of these things is the doctor, right? So you have the big guy, as we're going to call him, okay? The G, which stands for grams in this instance, is the doctor. Milligrams, okay, she's, you know, a little bit lower as far as the level of licensure. You have the nurse, okay? So, like I said, you have like the millie guy, we will say. But anyway, so you have, like I said, the doctor stands for the grams, the nurse stands for the milligrams, and then you have the micrograms standing for the CNA, okay? So like I said, it's like a ladder. You start, you know, from CNA, you're going up to nurse, and you're going up to doctor, okay? Now, you can remember milligrams from micrograms in this analogy because you have that C in micrograms, right? okay? You have this C right here in micrograms. So this is going to stand for CNA, okay? So like I said, if you kind of remember this little line right here, grams, milligrams, and micrograms standing for the doctor, nurse, and CNA, it will kind of tell you where you need to move your decimal point. I'm going to explain in a second, okay? So in this case, like I said, I'm trying to convert my milligrams to my micrograms, right? So I need to either move my decimal place 3 places to the left or right, or I can multiply by 1,000. Now I'm gonna tell you how you can remember this, okay? So if we see where milligrams is on our line right here, milligram stands for nurse, okay? So I'm trying to convert milligrams to micrograms, right? So that means that I need to move 3 decimal places to the right, okay? All right, so first of all, just memorize that anytime that you're converting from like gram to milligram, milligram to gram, or anything like that, that you need to move 3 decimal places, okay? And yeah, I'm not gonna push you too far. Okay, we're gonna stop right there. But anyway, so you're gonna move 3 decimal places to the left or the right, but you also can multiply if you're going from gram to milligrams or milligrams to micrograms, okay? So you can do this 2 ways. The way that I like to do, I like to kind of imagine in my head or even write down, like actually moving that decimal place, you know, 3 places to the left or 3 places to the right. So in this case, I'm moving from milligrams to micrograms, okay? So I'm going 3 decimal places to the right because I'm going this way, okay? So what I would do, okay, we're gonna go to our milligrams here. So this is the decimal place. We're going 3 decimal places to the right because we're converting to micrograms. And that's gonna be, it's gonna go right there, that's 1. It's gonna go right there, that's 2. And then we have to go 1 more time because we have to go 3 times. So there's gonna be like, we're gonna add a 0 in that spot, okay? And then the decimal place is always gonna be after the last number, okay? Now in this case, you don't have to put a decimal point because, you know, like I said, we already know it's a whole number. So it's gonna actually convert into 80 micrograms, okay? So I'm gonna take you there again, okay? Milligrams to micrograms, we're gonna go to the right 3 decimal places. That's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. So your decimal point would be right here, but in order to fill that space right there, you have to put a 0, okay? Anytime that you have open spaces, you run out of numbers, you have to actually insert a 0 in that spot. So, okay, so it's gonna leave us with 80 micrograms. And also the number is gonna look larger. It's not actually larger, but the number is gonna look larger like the smaller that you go, okay? All right, so now we have converted our milligrams to micrograms and we have 80 micrograms. So now you're gonna look at your order, okay? So your order says that you have 400 micrograms and now you have available, because remember I told you I like for my order to match, and you have to convert some kind of way, but I like for my numbers, well, my measurements to actually match. So it has to be micrograms and micrograms. It cannot be milligrams and micrograms. So that's why I converted, but I converted this one because of what I said. I'm trying to get rid of that decimal spot, okay? It's just easier to work with. Okay, so my order is for 400 micrograms, and I have available though, now I have 80 micrograms per 0.5 milliliters, okay? So now it's time to set up my problem. And like I told you, I go from my order over available per, which I will times that by whatever my vehicle is, which is in milliliters, okay? So I have my order. You have 400 micrograms, that's the order, over what's available. And remember, we converted that. So that's 80 micrograms times my vehicle, in this case is in milliliters, but it's 0.5. Now you remember in the other problem we had to use 1 because it just said, you know, per milliliter. And like I said, we had the little imaginary 1, but in this case it's 0.5. So I have to times it by 0.5 because I have to time it by whatever number is in front of that vehicle, okay? So once you divide 400 divided by 80, times that by your vehicle, which is 0.5 milliliters, you're going to end up with 2.5 milliliters. And that's your answer, you guys. Okay? I know it took a little while to kind of explain that. Hope I didn't lose you in the process, but that's how you solve that problem. So just a brief overview. Okay. First, you want to convert your decimal. A way to convert your decimal is, I didn't talk about multiplying. Okay, so you can use that line there. Like I said, you can either move it 3 decimal places to the left or the right. You can kind of keep that in mind of which way you have to go with this line, with grams representing the doctor, milligrams representing the nurse, micrograms representing the CNA. So anytime that you want to convert milligrams to micrograms, which is right here, you're going to go to the right. You're going to move that decimal place to the right. You can also multiply by 1,000, okay? You can also multiply by 1,000. And if you want to actually convert micrograms to milligrams, then you divide by 1,000. I don't do it that way. I don't, but you can do that. And if you wanted to convert micrograms to milligrams, you will move the decimal spot 3 decimal places to the left, okay, instead of to the right, because you're going from micrograms to milligrams. There's just an instance, like I said, if you wanted to do that. But like I said, you convert, do your decimal place, and then you're going to set up your problem, work out your problem, and bam, there's your answer, okay? All right, question number 3. The physician ordered 196 milligrams TID, which stands for 3 times a day. You have available 0.056 grams scored tablets. Now, scored means that you can either break that tablet up into 2 doses, or you can actually break it up. Say, for instance, if your patient has swallowing problems, you can, just break it in half and give it to them, one at a time. But a scored tablet, it has like a little line in the middle of the tablet, if you've ever noticed that. And like I said, you're just able to break that tablet up easily, okay? So, like I said, you can't, break it up into 4s or nothing like that. You don't want to do that because you can kind of take your dosage off. But if you have a pill cutter or something like that, like I said, it's just easy to know where you need to actually cut that pill, okay? All right, so how many tablets would the nurse administer in one day? Okay, the first thing we want to do, like I said, you see that we have that decimal. So I want to convert grams into milligrams. I'm going to use the same way that we did it with the doctor, nurse, and CNA, okay? So I am going to actually go, because I'm converting from grams to milligrams, I'm going to go 3 decimal places to the right, okay? Because we have the doctor here and we're going over here, okay? So that's to the right. Okay, so once I do that, okay, so here's my decimal spot. That's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. So that leaves me with 56 milligrams, okay? Because remember, I'm converting. I'm not going to leave this G on here because I'm converting. So that means that there's 56 milligrams now, okay? All right, so once I've converted that, I'm gonna look at my order again, okay? Because I have milligrams to milligrams now. Okay, so my order is for 196 milligrams, but available I have 56 milligrams per 1 tab. And remember, it's 56 milligrams because I converted from grams to milligrams. So we have that little imaginary per sign, as I was saying, because there's not anything normally with tabs. It's not like this. It's normally with milliliters, like you may have per 5 milliliters or something like that. But with tablets, it's mostly per 1 tab, okay? So it doesn't have a number in front of my vehicle here, remember, because my vehicle is now tabs, not milliliters. So it's per 1 tab available. So I'm going to set my problem up, okay? And, my thing is in the way. I can't see it, y'all. Oh, man. Okay, hopefully that goes off the screen. Okay, hopefully it goes off in a second so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Okay, so once I set my problem up, there it goes. Okay, so I have my order, which is 196 milligrams over what's available, which is now 56 milligrams, times my vehicle, which is 1 tab, okay? So when I do that calculation, I'm going to end up with 3.5, okay? Now, this is only how many tablets we're going to give per dose. What did the question ask? It asks, okay, how much would I administer in one day? Now, the order is for 196 milligrams 3 times a day, okay? 3 times a day. And let me put this out there. The only reason why I'm converting is because it's different from what I like. The measurements are different from what I have available. So that's why you're converting and all that type of stuff, okay? So, like I said, my order is 196 milligrams over 56 milligrams times 1 tablet, which equals to 3.5 tablets per dose. So I'm going to give this 3 times a day, okay? So that means that I have to multiply 3.5 tabs by 3, okay? Because it's given 3 times a day to get my daily dose. Once you do that, you're going to end up with 10.5 tablets, okay? That's the daily dosage, okay? But per dose, every time that I give that, say for instance, I was giving this medicine at 8 a.m., 12 p.m., and 4 p.m. Each time that I give that medicine, I'm going to give 3.5 tabs. But for the whole day in all, it's going to equal up to 10.5 tablets, okay? All right. 2 more questions. Okay, so the physician ordered Dilantin, 30 milligrams PO, which is by mouth, every 8 hours. The Q stands for every. Of course, the H stands for hour, for a child weighing 18 kilograms. The recommended dosage is 5 milligrams per kilogram per day. What is the safe dosage for this child in milligrams per day? You guys, I know you're looking at this problem and you're probably freaking out like already because it looks intimidating, right? It's not. I trust you. Trust me, it's not. Okay. All right. So the first thing that I want to do, I want to look at the weight. Okay. The weight is very important to look at first because I want my weight in kilograms. If my weight was in pounds, I want to convert my pounds to kilograms. Okay. So the way to convert, like I said, in this case, it's not so. But if my weight was in, like I said, if it said like 181 pounds and I needed to convert this to kilograms, I would divide that weight by 2.2. Okay, you guys? Okay, that's very important to remember. It's like I said, some things you have to memorize, and this is one of them. Okay, this is one rule. So if you, to convert pounds to kilograms, you would divide that by 2.2. But my question was so nice, I don't have to do that. So what I'm going to do is actually just use 18 kilograms because I want my weight in kilograms already. So the thing that we have to do also, like I said, a lot of times you have to rule out the fluff. In this case, it's just asking us for the safe dosage. It's not asking us for the actual dosage or anything like that. It's asking us for the recommended dosage, okay? So I'm going to take that, that weight in kilograms, okay? And I'm going to enter that into my recommended dosage, okay? So you have the recommended dosage is 5 milligrams per kilograms per day, okay? So I'm going to enter my weight, which is 18 kilograms, into, I call it like a little formula in a way. And I'm going to multiply it by those numbers in their recommended dosage. So I have 5 milligrams. I'm going to, in my mind, the per sign stands for a multiplication sign, okay? So I'm going to take 5 milligrams times 18 kilograms times, well, we ain't got to say times, just per day, okay? Now, the kilograms cancel itself out. The reason why you don't have 18 kilograms times, you know, kilograms is because when you have 2 of the same measurements, they cancel itself out. So you only have 5 milligrams per 18 kilograms per day. Okay, so I'm going to, you remember I said I'm going to multiply those numbers in their recommended dosage because I just entered my weight into that formula. So you're going to multiply 5 times 18. You can act as if, you know, there's a 1 in front of day. If you know, if you kind of getting a little bit confused, you can, it could be like you multiplying 5 times 18 times 1, okay? So like I said, I did say you multiply those numbers in that formula. So 5 times 18 equals, okay, 90 milligrams per day, okay? It's not 90 milligrams per kilogram per day, because remember I told you those kilograms canceled itself out. Once I enter 18 kilograms into my recommended dosage, it's like it was 18 kilograms. But like I said, the kilograms cancel itself out and just leaves 18, okay? So once I do that, that's the end. That's my recommended dosage. So I have to make sure that whatever I administer is within their recommended dosage, okay? I can't go over that amount, okay? Or that's considered a medication error, okay? So I hope you guys understand that. Like I said, the first thing you want to do is convert your weight if you have to, if it's not already in kilograms, and then you're going to plug that weight into that recommended dosage, and that's going to give you your safe dosage per day, okay? All right. Now, I was trying to find we'll probably do that on another day. I was trying to find one where you have to take it a step further and find out like what's the dosage, you know, that patient will actually be taking. But like I said, we're not going to get into it today. We're doing basic. Okay. Question number 5, which is our last question. The physician orders 6,000 milliliters of IV solution to run over a 24-hour period. The drop factor is 10 drops per milliliter. You would infuse this solution at how many drops per minute? Again, this question may intimidate a lot of students, but please don't let it intimidate you, okay? I'm going to show you exactly how to work yourself through this problem. The first thing that you're going to do, okay, you're going to figure out in the problem your milliliters per hour, your rate, okay? So the way that you do this, you're going to use, this is what I use, okay? What I use, keep in mind what I use. I take my total volume of IV solution and I divide that by the total time that I need to run this, okay? So in this case, my total volume of IV solution is 6,000 milliliters, okay? So I'm going to take that, I'm going to divide that by 24 hours because it said run over a 24-hour period. Once I divide those two numbers, I'm going to get 250. 250 milliliters per hour is the rate that I'm going to run this IV solution. But the question did not ask me how many milliliters per hour, it asked me how many drops per minute, okay? So the second thing that I have to do, okay, because this is at 250 milliliters per hour, I'm trying to get drops per minute. How many minutes are in an hour? 60 minutes, right? So if my problem is at 250 milliliters per hour right now, okay, in order to convert that in 2 minutes, okay, I have to divide that number by 60, meaning 60 minutes, okay? So 250 milliliters per hour divided by 60 minutes, you're going to get like a little funky number, like 4.166667 or something like that. Okay, y'all know I can't set my pump for that. I can't do this, okay? So what I need to do next is times that by my drop factor, okay? The problem's going to give you that drop factor, and in this case, it's 10 drops per milliliter, okay? So keep that number in your calculator and just times that by 10, okay? Once you do that, okay, you're going to get your drops per minute. In this case, you will get an answer something similar to like 41.6667, okay? We can't use that number. We can't, you know, prime our pump like that, okay? So what you're going to do is you have to use a whole number, okay? Now, in cases like milliliters, like if you're doing like a solution as far as an injection or something like that, yeah, you may have to use, there can be a decimal in your answer. Even if you have like a score tablet or something like that, yeah, you may have a decimal in your answer. But when you're dealing with IV solution, when you're dealing with IV rates and all that, you have to use a whole number, okay? So you can't use 41.66667. You have to use 42, okay? How I got 42 is that, of course, you know, you have to round, okay? You have to round up. So my number here after the decimal point, you're looking at the first number after the decimal point, and it's number 6. So, you know, okay, I have to round up, okay? But if it was something like 3, If that number after the decimal point was 3, then I will leave it at 41. If it's, and I'm thinking it's like 4 and above, y'all don't quote me on that, and I started to look at that. Hold on, let me pause this one more time because I don't want to give you wrong information. Hold on. Okay, you guys, I ain't want to give you the wrong information, okay, but still check with your teacher, okay? I still say check with your teacher, okay? But according to Google, okay, if the number is 4 or below, it's going to stay the same. If it's 5 or above, you're going to round up, okay? But like I said, check with your teacher to make sure if that number is 4. That's the only tricky one that I'm kind of a little leery about, but make sure. Okay, what do you do with the number 4? Do you keep the number as the same, or you round up? But like I said, if according to Google, that number is going to stay the same. Okay, now, so like I said, you can't keep that answer at 41.6667, so you have to round up. So in this case, you're going to round up because the number after the decimal point is 5 and above. Okay, so that rounds up to a even 42. Okay, but if it was 3, it will remain 41 as a whole. Okay, so that is your drops per minute, you guys. Okay, so that's all the questions we're going to do. I know that was kind of probably brain overload already. I hope I didn't confuse you any more than you were already confused. But if you guys have any question at all, then make sure you shoot me an email at contact@epicnurses.com. Or you can actually DM me if you're on Instagram, inbox me if you're on Facebook, message me, okay? Like I said, you don't have to go through this alone. I'm not an expert, no, I am not. But like I said, I kind of, it's kind of fun to me a little bit. Now, sometimes those questions can kind of get out of hand. And it was kind of fun to me with dosage and calculations. I kind of like trying to figure it out. But like I said, I would try to help you the best way that I can. But like I said, don't let it intimidate you. Just look at the question, see what it's asking, and work it out, okay? Like I said, don't let it make you afraid where you get so frustrated that you like, oh, no. Take it for what it is, break that problem down, see what it's asking you, take out the fluff, and answer it, okay? Figure out your formula, set your problem up, and you got it, okay? All right, so continue to connect with us. Like I said, I'm on Instagram. Instagram handle is at My Nursing Journey 101. I have a Facebook business page, is My Nursing Journey 101 LLC. Also, I'm on YouTube, and my channel is My Nursing Journey 101, which you're on right now. So make sure that you subscribe, okay? Also, make sure that you click the bell for notifications whenever I upload a new video. I try to upload new videos every Sunday, okay? So if there are also any topics in mind that you have, then make sure that you shoot me a message, okay? Also, make sure you sign up for the newsletter now, you guys, okay? So I have a link in my Instagram bio, as well as there's some posts. Well, I should have a link on my Facebook business page as well. But there's a link that says sign up for VIP exclusive, and you can sign up for my email list, okay? All right, you guys, and make sure that you vote for that Fearless Nursing Student Notebook, okay? So I can get an idea, a general idea of what people are desiring, okay? All right, you guys, I see you guys later, and you have a great and blessed day. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Peace.